Tajudeen Abbas emerges Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives, Kalu his deputy. Former Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila resigns membership of 10th House, assumes office as Chief of Staff to the President. And House constitutes ad hoc committee to investigate lingering cases of gas flaring. A new assembly, a new leadership, and new vision. The story of the 10th House of Representatives, where Tajudeen Abbas now holds sway. Hello and welcome to You and Your Reps. I'm Victor Azo. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Tajudeen Abbas, representing Zaria Federal Constituency of Kaduna State, has emerged Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives with an overwhelming majority of votes. For the Deputy Speaker position, Benjamin Okezie Kalu, representing Bindi, Federal Constituency of Abbas State, emerged unopposed.
The process commenced with nominations of the contestants in line with the standing order of the House of Representatives. Voting was conducted using the open ballot system, in which members call out names of their preferred candidates. At the end of the exercise, Tajudeen Abbas, a fourth-time member of the House, was declared Speaker, having scored 353 votes, beating two other contestants, Ahmed Idris Wasi and Aminu Jaji, who scored 3 votes each.
Member-elect Tajudeen Abbas, 353 votes.
The Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Okezie Kalu, representing Bende Federal Constituency of Abia State, was returned unopposed. The clerks to the National Assembly administered the oath of office.
And that I will abide.
And that I will abide.
By the code of conduct.
By the code of conduct.
Contained in the 5th schedule.
Contained in the 5th schedule.
To the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
To the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So help me God.
So help me God.
That as a member of the House of Representatives.
That as a member of the House of Representatives.
I will perform my functions.
I will perform my functions.
Honestly.
To
the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
The Speaker carried out the first function of presiding over the swearing-in of other members.
Member of the House of Representatives, I will perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability.
We are your members, and I congratulate you, and on behalf of them, I hand over my handover notes as a Speaker of the 9th Assembly. This will be a guide to you, and I hope you continue from where I left. Congratulations, and God bless you.
This victory is not just about me. It is all about us coming together as a united house to serve the Nigerian people diligently. It is about honoring the trust that has been placed on us and working tirelessly to deliver on our promises of good governance and effective representation.
Tajudeen Abbas is the 9th Speaker of the House of Representatives since the return of democracy in 1999. Born in 1963, Tajudeen Abbas has a doctorate degree in business administration. The Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, is a lawyer by training. The two new presiding officers are the choice of the ruling party for the positions they now occupy.
And after a visit to President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa, we asked new Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, what Nigerians can expect from the 10th House.
We promised that we're going to ensure that nation building remains a joint task that will not be left only for the executive or the judiciary to handle. We promised that we are going to be there to make sure we add our own bricks to the nation building wall. And these will extend to creation of jobs, reduction of poverty, policies that goes into enhancing our energy sources, policies that will help us create more local content usage in this country, manufacturing that will help us reduce importation and increase exportation, that will stimulate our economy. And as you see in the past 15 days, Mr. President has been taking the right decisions, on issues. We want to sustain that through legislative support, legislative intervention to make sure that together we'll build a nation we'll be proud of.
You and your reps also caught up with the member representing Lavun Mokwa Edati Federal Constituency of Niger State, Joshua Ghana, who speaks on the task before the 10th House.
To say first, the 10th Assembly must honor God Almighty. Number two, we have gone into the subsidy regime has been removed and it's telling on all our constituents. So there has to be a deliberate emergency attention to the price of fuel and how we can bring palliatives to our people so that we don't suffer our people. They didn't elect us to suffer. They elected us to bring about solutions. So we must step into our assignment immediately to bring about solutions. And then, yes, you can see our infrastructure where we lack our infrastructure development. We must bring that quickly and find financial models that can complete infrastructure projects within time so that Nigerians can start enjoying their environment. Also the environment as it is, we have a lot of degradation, and we have seen when the seasons change now, we're having flooding in areas that naturally shouldn't have had flooding. So there are ecological problems that we need to also intervene in and others. So education is another serious matter. We saw what ASU passed through in the last regime. Should we allow that happen? And so some of those issues are still pending. We must solve those issues and find sustainable models that will not allow those issues ever arise again. So from looking after the civil service to increase their emoluments, because if you're increasing fuel price, food prices are increasing, how do you want people to meet up their obligations? How would their children go to school? How would they build their lives with their existing incomes? That has to be attended to immediately. And by the grace of God, all pending issues and issues that needed to be put into law, it's our assignment to work morning, day and night in order to do those things that the Nigerian populace have entrusted in this 10th Assembly. We have now been inaugurated and selected our own leaders. So there are models of leadership selection, and this one was one of those that happened very quickly, where most of the members entrusted the authority of today's leadership being directed by their party so that we could work harmoniously. There has been the history of the executive and legislative office being cats and dogs, and that has not helped our economy to grow. Well, now we look forward to a government where both the legislative and the executive will work together. If you look at the composition of our current executive, they are all former legislators. So they know what they were suffering. The president is a legislator, the vice president is a legislator, the SGF a legislator, all chief of staff a legislator. So they know the challenges they faced when they were in legislation, and now that they're in the executive, they will know how to work seamlessly in between us to bring the dividends of democracy to Nigerians.
Meanwhile, the 10th House of Representatives in its first plenary has declared the seat of former Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila vacant. This follows Femi Gbajabiamila's resignation as a member of the Green Chamber to assume his appointment as Chief of Staff to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You may sit down, please.
The first plenary of the 10th House of Representatives commenced with the Speaker directing the clerk to the National Assembly to notify the Executive and the Senate of the composition of the House.
That the clerk to the National Assembly do advise the Secretary to the federal government to inform the President that the House has assembled and quorum formed and ready to receive any message he may wish to transmit.
Thereafter comes a letter of resignation from the former Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila to enable him assume his new office as Chief of Staff to the President.
It is with with mixed feelings that I want to at this time present to you and the Honorable House my letter of resignation from this House.
We have declared the seat of Surulere 1, Federal Constituency of Lagos, vacant as from today. Thank you.
Before taking his bow from the chamber, the former speaker moved a motion of urgent public importance on the need to mitigate the effect of flooding in the country this year, as predicted by NIMET. The House, after amendment of the prayers, resolved to invite the DG of NEMA to brief the House on the measures in place to mitigate flood disasters and enhance intergovernmental collaboration. The House also adopted resolutions of 2 motions of urgent public importance on the need to implement palliative measures to mitigate effects of fuel subsidy removal on Nigerians, moved by Representative Sani Madaki, and on the need to control gully erosion in Enugu North and Udi local government areas, moved by Representative Chimobi Sam Atu.
To mitigate the effect of fuel subsidy removal on Nigerians, to mandate the Committee on Labour and Productivity, when constituted, to ensure compliance and report back within 2 weeks for further legislative action. Mandate the Joint Committee on Environment, Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, and Works to undertake an investigation of the threat posed by the gully erosion.
The House adjourned plenary to Thursday, 15th of June, 2023.
The House of Representatives has mandated an ad hoc committee to investigate lingering cases of gas flaring by oil and gas companies, as well as revenue due to government from gas-flared penalties. The House has also constituted ad hoc committees to fine-tune its legislative agenda.
The resolution to checkmate the excesses of oil and gas companies engaging in gas flaring followed a motion of urgent public importance.
In the last decade, approximately $9.05 billion has been lost to gas flaring. This money would have offset 23.62% of the country's total foreign debt.
I want to seek your indulgence to convey a kind of ad hoc committee to look critically into these issues that have been raised. And you have 6 weeks to deliberate and bring the resolution thereafter to the House.
In other motions, the House resolved to direct relevant agencies to intervene in gully erosion devastation in Imo and Akwa Ibom states.
All the Ecological Fund Office under the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to immediately commence the control of Nkwamiri and Isunjaba gully erosion.
Remedy the menace of gully erosion in Ikote Kamobiobom communities in Abbas local government area.
The House is also to mediate in persistent clashes between border communities in Ebonyi and Benue states. The lawmakers rejected a motion seeking to declare the emigration of Nigerians abroad as a national emergency.
If this scenario continues with our able minds, brains, and skilled personnel living, Nigeria may fall into grave crisis in our critical sectors.
It looks nationalistic, but it contravenes the provisions of the Constitution. It's the liberty of a Nigerian if he is qualified and he is normal and he has all the grant right of movement anywhere he wants.
The mover of the motion is not praying that everybody should be stopped from going to abroad. We should take this into consideration. But it's advising, because we have to tell each other the truth. The factors enumerated, that is the actual factors or reasons behind people leaving this country to seek for greener pastures somewhere.
Speaker Tajudeen Abbas announced the constitution of 7 ad hoc committees to assist the House with its legislative agenda. Meanwhile, members of the South-South caucus of the House at a briefing urged the federal government to protect fishing communities in Akwa Ibom State from devastation occasioned by remapping of local government areas.
One of the most commonly used terms in a legislature is bill. So what is a bill? We spoke with Chair of the House Committee on Rules and Business in the 9th House of Representatives, Abubakar Fulata, to talk us through the making of a bill.
Any member of the society, any Nigerian has the right to come up with a bill. But that bill must be presented by a serving member. So if a private member, if a Nigerian private citizen writes a bill, he gives it to a serving member who would now present the bill in his name. It is no longer in the name of the originator. It will be in the name of the member serving. Member will now append his name onto that bill. The bill will go through the normal process of first reading, second reading, third reading, passage, and then assent by the president. There's also a bill that a member also, in his capacity as a member, can also present. Not that it is given to him by an outsider. The member concerned can come, any member, any senator, any member of the House of Representatives can come up also with a bill, which will also go through the normal process of first reading, second reading, third reading. And then we also have an executive bill presented by the president or a minister or any extraministerial department in respect of the functions and operations of any government agency.
Under this bill shall be both in electronic and manual with the procedure.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. Nay. The nays have it.
And Mr. Speaker, we all agree that these necessary changes should be effected.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.
The 10th Assembly is gradually settling down to work, but what should be its priorities? We took this question to members of the public, and here's what we got.
There must be a process, a legislative process, that will form the basis of creating employment. There are ways you can create these jobs by making it a policy, national policy, that even the private sectors will now see reason to make sure that at any point in time, this number of people are employed.
If they can be able to support like the federal government, like giving them, creating laws, how they'll create more job opportunities for we, the youth and citizens out there, I think that will help a lot.
There are so many laws that need to be amended. The senators and the reps have so many responsibilities to play in helping us to build up our democracy. They can as well put the president on his feet.
Prioritize on security first, so that because if there is peace, then everything will work well. Then the education sector will work, economic activities will boom, and hopefully there may be economic development.
Yes, we have a lot of infrastructural issue, and you see that people don't regard public stuff. People pull down street light, nobody looks at them, and so many. There are too many things to talk about.
This week on You and Your Reps, the committee segment takes us to Chair of the House Committee on Lake Chad in the 9th House, Aminu Ashiru. The member representing Mani Bindawa, Federal Constituency of Katsina State, speaks on the situation in Lake Chad.
The issue of Lake Chad is somehow controversial, being the fact that there are so many security challenges. And secondly, the lake now is dry from at least 1,000 square kilometers to 2 square meters or 20 square meters as it is for now because of the drought and other things like that. So a lot of people that are living there to earn their living, there was no water to do their activities like irrigation, other things for their life. Now they have to start going elsewhere to live. There is what you call rural migration from one place to another places. And it's the one that contributed the issue of this insecurity. So people were using that avenue to see how they can play games with their intelligence. And there is issue of finances toward LEBC, Lake Chad Basin Commission. Many chaotic issues arose in such a way that at least now, the whole agency, they cannot even pay their salaries, talk less about other things to be done as part of their projects. So I'm still appealing for the federal government to intervene and other countries as they make promise to see how they can improve the living standard of that organization and the area in general.
Now that's one more issue for the 10th House to tackle once back from its recess. And that's been You and Your Reps. Thanks for your time. I'm Victor, as we'll see you next time.